Hello, House Online Works here, and as you can probably tell by the state at the back of my van, it's Friday afternoon here. So what I should be doing is sorting the back of my van out, but what I thought I'd do instead is show you a little video on how we mix lime mortar, because what sort of builder cleans the van on a Friday? So, the number one thing to remember when you're dealing with lime, like anything in building, is PPE. So I'm going to be wearing glasses, goggles and gloves. Now, what is lime? Lime is a word that's used to describe a stone that comes out of ground that's refined. It's part of the lime cycle. That means we take a piece of limestone, we add heat, then we add water to it, and then it turns back into a piece of stone. The bit where we add water is known as slaking. So, the lime that we're using at the minute is this Calbux 90. It's fantastic. It's from Buxton or Derbyshire somewhere. So, one thing just to note is that this isn't the way to mix lime, this is our way we mix lime here at Oxham. So what have we got? We've got a lovely local washed aggregate. I'm going to put 1.5 aggregate in. Right, and then I'm going to add one, remembering to wear my PPE, this Calbux C90. I'm just going to dump it right on top there. And what I'm going to do is take my trusty pointing trowel, and I'm going to give those two a mix together. Now the reason why we mix it 1 to 1.5 is because this is a fine powdered lime, it's not kibble, so it's not going to react. So when we're talking about mixing it 3 to 1 with kibble, we have to account for a bit more. I'm going to get in that. As you can see, little dancing that's occurring there is the lime reacting with the water that's in the sand. Why it's important to wear PPE. So what I'm going to do next, because this is a fine powdered lime, is I'm going to make a little dome in the middle like you would if you were making pasta. And just gradually add a little bit of water. And then I'm going to keep folding it into itself like so. That whooshing sound you can hear, that's the slaking. That's water reacting with the heat or preheated stone and turning back into stone again. As you can see, it's going a bit lumpy. And just keep steadily folding it over itself. Nice and gradual. It's like making pasta. And folding it back into itself. Looking at a good work through. So yeah, so the reason why we mix it at 1 to 1.5 is because if we were making a kibble mix, the kibble would expand with the water to double. So the end product is 1.5 to 1 lime. So that's why we mix this fine powdered stuff at 1.5 to 1. Now to reiterate, we're not saying this is the way to mix lime, we're just saying it's our way that we mix lime here at Oxham. I think this is an ideal mix for someone who might be just starting out or I don't know, maybe you've uncovered your chimney and you want it to look nice and old and you don't want that horrendous 4-in-1 barrel jointed finish. But lots do. Oh, the aggregate we're using, if you can see, it's washed grit sand, like most traditional products and eco products. If it's local, it's good. And again, just folding that mix into the middle and then working it through. And obviously I'm doing this at a much slower rate as I would normally for educational purposes. Keep folding it back in. You can use a grit to put a big job on. It was like a grit, what do you call it? Drum mixer, like what they use for resin, and that just helps mix everything through. But odds are, if you're watching this video, you haven't got one lying around, so we can make a little batch like what we do, just to do a bit of patch pointing. As we can see now, I'm working it through. It's starting to become a lovely pliable mortar. Splash more water. Oh. And just keep folding it in nice and gradual. This cal box that we use, it's that sort of thing you can buy from B&Q, unfortunately, but you can go to like Mike White, I think, Celtic Sustainables, I think they stock it. It's a bit of a faff, but it's all worth it for building, and also it provides a much lower carbon alternative to cement bonding agents. Oh. As you can see, a bit of steam coming off. That's the lime reacting with the water. That lime cycle. Heat, well, stone, heat, water, heat, stone. Obviously in this instance, it's going to turn to stone. And it's in, wow. It's hard work when there's just one here. Again, keeping folding it in on its end. Like so. Just give it a little bash round. It is obviously easier to suss something up like a pasting table or something, to do little mixers like this so they're not bending over. Well, we haven't got one, so we shall make do. And as you can see, that is becoming a lovely sticky traditional mortar. So, well, like with most things in life, if you don't know what you're doing, talk to an expert. This is a skill within a skill within a skill, but everybody starts somewhere. It's quite an easy place to start. We tend to use this type of mix when we're working on very fine joints, you know, sort of thin brickwork like job we're on at the minute, just so that we don't end up with any great kibble lumps in it. And it points up nicely. As you can see, I'm just gradually adding my water till we get to a nice pliable and workable mix. Now what you could do, if you were doing a bit of plastering, is you could chuck a bit of horsehair in this, or a bit of hemp, one of my favourites. And you've got yourself a decent little backing plaster. I find you could use it on any course really. Now I've made that a little bit too wet on purpose, to say that if it does go a bit watery, what you've got to do is just leave it to set for a while. Keep working it in, can get big lumps out, and before you know it, well, in about 5 or 10 minutes, that will be a lovely stiff bit of lime muck. Perfect for heritage work and eco buildings. Because that comes from Derbyshire, which is not too far away from me, and that comes from Doncaster. Bless it. So, no heavy refining required, no chemicals and plastic shipped from a million miles away, just stuff that comes out of the ground right here. Well, I nearly said Yorkshire. That bloody stuff. As close can be. Well, I know it's come from China, let's put it that way. And as you can see, that is a lovely bit of building muck. And there you go. Like most things in building, simple.